This is a CBC podcast.
Hey, I'm Michelle Parisi, the woman behind Alone, A Love Story. Season 3 is coming out on February 5th. Love, sex, travel, motherhood, it's all in there. You don't expect anything less from me by now, do you? So put on some tea, make some space under the blankets, and get ready to hunker down with the final season of Alone, A Love Story.
Anine Jain, how are you?
Gonalonkwa, which is I love you.
Agamemok, keep going.
Diane Today for Don't Touch.
This is First Words, an Indigenous language podcast by Unreserved.
Yat-e, which is a greeting.
Miigwech, which means thank you.
Wache, Adrian Sutherland, Dendostin Umaskigo, Umaga Niniga Nahamasun Gagadustigach Midnight Shine. Hello, my name is Adrian Sutherland. I'm an Umaskigo Cree from James Bay, and I'm the frontman for Midnight Shine. My first memory of hearing my language was probably when I was at least 4 or 5 years old. I remember hearing my grandfather speaking with some older other elders from the community. Most of my language has been learned at home. There's 7 of us in my family. I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers. Some of the first words that I learned were come here, sleep, eat. So come here would be stum, eat is michiso, sleep is nipa. We were kind of split up at a young age. My mom was a single mother, and we kind of got bounced around quite a bit from place to place. And eventually, most of my siblings ended up in foster care. So we didn't come back together until we were in our teens. Some of my younger siblings had lost the language, but they were still able to retain some of the language, but they're not fluent speakers. They can speak, though, if they need to. Personally, I was able to retain the language because I ended up with relatives on the reserve on my mom's side, and my grandparents were always around, and we spent a lot of time at their house. So I was very fortunate enough to be able to retain the language. The name of the band that I play in is Midnight Shine. We did the cover of Neil Young's Heart of Gold, and we were sitting in the studio one day arranging the song and trying to figure out how we were going to make the song unique. There was a bunch of ideas getting tossed around, and one idea came to us from the John Angus MacDonald, who produced 6 of our songs on our latest album. The idea came from him to sing, why not sing a verse in Cree, since no one else has probably ever done that. So we tried it out, and it surprisingly turned out really well. There was one line that I had trouble with, and it was the translation of Heart of Gold. And I had difficulty with that one because there were no words that I know of to describe gold. That with the meaning of that line, which I believe it was something searching for something good, like good-hearted, and so I went with that instead of going with money rock, because that would have been the only translation that I could think of at the time. So I put in searching for something or someone that's good-hearted. Inatuabamak kaminute hit. There's just so much to know about the language. Like when you go out onto the land, the vocabulary just opens up. There's so much about being out on the land and the water, the sky, the weather, the animals, tracking, the snow, like the type of cloud, the birds and the sounds they make. Like one word that I learned not too long ago, as we have different types of moss back home. And one of the moss that I recently learned about is called Binasteskamik, which is a certain type of moss that we use. I thought it was just a general term that we called, all moss was called eski, but they have different types of moss in our language, and they're used for different types of things. So, Binasteskamik. I mean, I would take an entire lifetime just to learn about all that stuff. One last thing I would add about language, I think it's important for our people and our communities to learn our language. I think our language is what makes us unique as Canadians, and it really gives us purpose and understanding about who we are and where we come from. My name is Adrian Sutherland, and I'm from Ottawa, Piscata, Ontario, and I am the frontman in the band called Midnight Shine. And I'd like to leave you with 3 words. We'll start with it's cold, takayao, and it's warm, gishwayao, and sing us a song, nagamustamonan.
For more CBC podcasts, go to cbc.ca/podcasts.